Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to George and Willy's World. I'm really glad to be back again, and I hope you are too. My name is Mrs. Mapes, and we also have Mrs. Krantz here. Hi, Mrs. Krantz.
Hi.
How are you? And how have you been lately, and what have you been doing?
Well, actually, George had a very exciting time since we were here last because my husband and I went to New York City, so George stayed with a house sitter. So she didn't get to do her normal jobs, but she had a lot of fun. She went to the dog park in Penn Valley, and the house sitter had a little dog that she brought over to our house to play with George, and George went to her house, and they took lots of hikes every day. So we had a very happy puppy when we came home.
Well, that sounds like fun.
That was
actually. Willy, on the other hand, has been kind of under the weather, not feeling very well at all. And so we ended up having to take him to the doctor or the veterinarian for dogs. So he's finally starting to feel a little better. But dogs get sick just like little people and big people do. So that's what happens. I'm glad he's feeling better and he's here today. You probably remember when I hurt my finger a couple months ago, and I still have straps on my fingers so that I can keep them together. And then I had surgery on my hand, and now I'm doing exercises with my hand so it'll get better. It's getting pretty good, don't you think so?
Oh,
getting
yes.
a little better. And now it's healing, and I'm able to use it again and do things. And that started making me think about bodies. Well, I got to thinking about bodies, about what bodies are made of. We're made of bones and skin and blood and ears and eyes and hands and feet. In fact, I didn't know this until just a little bit ago. We have over 100 bones in our hands and feet. That's a lot of bones. I now know why it's taken so long for my one bone to feel better in my hand. And we have over 206 bones in our body. That is very amazing, and I am just so surprised. I wonder how many bones dogs have. I bet you they have a lot.
Yes, I think they must.
I didn't think about asking when Willy was at the vet. So we have a special guest today, and she is hosting an exhibition about bodies. In fact, she's going to share some information about bodies with all of you at home. And I love when we have our guests because I get to learn so much. Don't you learn a lot?
Oh, every time.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to be reading 2 books about bodies, and I can't wait to meet her and ask her a little bit about what she's doing. So please come and join us. Mrs. Nielsen. Hi. Oh, here, I'll give you my other hand.
Happy to be with you
Thank
today.
you so much. And I was excited to hear that you are
I'm the director of the
Director.
Imaginarium.
Tell us a little bit about what the Imaginarium is and why it's so wonderful for children and adults too.
Yeah, I have a really fun job because every time I see any one of you at the Imaginarium, you've come to have a good time. And right now, all this year, we had a special exhibit called Body Parts, How We Work. And it's been really, really fun. You get to learn all about your 5 senses and all about those bones in your body. And you actually have more than me. I have 206, but when you were born, you had 300.
Really?
And so you can come and learn about that and why you have less bones as you get bigger.
Huh. Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Where is the Imaginarium? Some people and some children and parents may not know where it is. So please tell us a little bit about where it is.
Well, the Imaginarium is in Nevada City at the corner of Ridge Road and Nevada City Highway.
Mm-hmm.
It's across the street from the superintendent of schools.
And it's right by where we are doing this TV show right now, too.
Yes, it is. We're
Yeah.
neighbors. Actually, The Imaginarium used to be twice the size, and we gave you half of our space just so that we could have our own TV shows.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yep.
I am so glad. Boys and girls, I know that you're glad to see George and Willie and all the other people that are on this wonderful show. So you have 2 books to read to us, and then we have some wonderful activities that I can't wait to share.
And I wanted to share one other thing before I read the stories today. We have a special day every month at the Imaginarium called First 5 Days. And it's just for all the moms and dads to bring their kids that are between the age of birth and 5. And we just have one left this year, and that is Tuesday, June 5th from 9 to noon. And we sure would love to see you. It's so much fun to come and play at the Imaginarium with all your friends.
Is there a cost involved, or what usually?
There is. It's $3 for kids and $5 for adults.
That's very reasonable. Definitely for a wonderful learning day.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, thank you for being here, and I'd love to start listening to the books that you have to share with us. Boys and girls at home, are you ready to listen to Mrs. Nielsen? I am. George and Willie, are you? Mrs. Krantz, are you?
Ready.
Okay.
All right. So the first book I'm going to read you today is called Me and My Amazing Body, written by Joan Sweeney and illustrated, that's who did the drawings, by Annette Cable. This is me and my amazing body. These are the parts of my body that I can see. Nose, eyes, ears, mouth, elbows, fingers, knees, and toes, stomach, hand, leg, foot. But most of my body I can't see, because my skin covers almost every inch of it. Skin comes in many different colors. It holds my body together and lets me feel things like my kitty's soft fur or the prickly spikes of my cactus. Ouch! Beneath my skin are my bones, all 206 of them. When my bones are put together, they're called a skeleton. My skeleton holds up my skin just like tent poles hold up a tent. Bones are hard and help protect the softer insides of my body. Attached to my bones are my muscles. My body has more than 600. They stretch and shrink like rubber bands. Muscles do the hard work of moving my body all around, back and forth, and up and down. I even use my muscles when I smile. My muscles move because my brain tells them to. My brain is the boss of my body, and it lets me think my own special thoughts. It's so important that it has its own safe place in my head, inside a very hard bone called my skull. My brain sends and receives messages from all parts of my body. My body and my brain need lots of energy to work well. They get energy from my blood. Blood contains oxygen from the air and nourishment from the food that I eat. My blood travels all over my body through special tubes called veins and arteries. If I cut or scrape my skin and it bleeds, don't worry, my body is always making more blood. My blood can't move through my body all by itself. It needs my heart, a group of strong muscles in my chest, to move it. My heart is like my own little engine. It pumps blood through my body all the time, even when I'm sleeping. If I put my hand on my chest, I can feel my heart beating. I can also feel my lungs working when I breathe in deep My lungs fill with fresh air like balloons and send the part of the air that I need, the oxygen, into my blood. Then my lungs push the used air back out. A moment later, I breathe in fresh air all over again. My body needs food along with air, or else I wouldn't grow. When I get hungry, I eat, and the food goes down into my stomach. After I eat, my stomach mashes the food into very tiny pieces. Then my body takes what it needs for energy and growth and gets rid of whatever it doesn't need. So when I eat lots of good stuff, and I eat a little of the other stuff. Some of the other stuff is maybe a cookie or a little popsicle, and the good stuff is things like vegetables like carrots and tomatoes, and fruit like grapes and strawberries. And it's summer and we get to eat lots of fruit. Every part of my body works together to keep me going and to keep me growing. And someday I'll be all grown up. Isn't it amazing? And most amazing of all, every person in the world has a body that's very much the same, but every person is also very different. There's no one else in the world exactly like you, and no one exactly like me, or ever will be. All right, that was a great story.
I like that story.
Yeah.
Some of these stories I have never heard before, and I'm so thrilled to hear them. I can bring them into my classroom and read them there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
And you have a second book?
I do.
I've become much more partial and understanding of hands since I hurt mine, I'll tell you that.
Well, this book is called Here Are My Hands.
Yes.
And I especially love hands. I've always loved hands. Maybe you have a special favorite part of your body. This book is called Here Are My Hands by Bill Martin Jr. and John Archambault, and illustrated by Ted Rand. Here are my hands for catching and throwing. Here are my feet for stopping and going. Here is my head for thinking and knowing. Here is my nose for smelling and blowing. Here are my eyes for seeing and crying. Here are my ears for washing and drying. Here are my knees for falling down. Here is my neck for turning around. Here are my cheeks for kissing and blushing. Here are my teeth for chewing and brushing. Here is my elbow, my arm, and my chin. And here is my skin that bundles me in. And that's the end of Here Are My Hands.
Thank you so much for those stories.
Well, I enjoyed reading them.
And I want you to stay there and enjoy some of the crafts we're going to be making, and maybe you might even be able to do some of them at the Imaginarium.
Okay.
Makes me think about how bodies grow and how small children at home, the little ones at home, if you were to put your hand up against your mom or dad's hand, I bet you that yours would be much smaller than your parents'. I bet you we could do. Ours are about the same, aren't they? And ours are about the same. Yes, but if you did that to an older brother or sister or a parent or a grandparent, I bet you yours would be much smaller. And you're going to grow into your hands too, just like your parents. So things that are small often turn to be bigger. And even though you might be 3 or 4 or 5 years old now, your hands were smaller when you were born. So you could even ask your parents for some baby pictures just to see how much you've grown. You might have been, my son was 19 inches long. He's now 6'2". So real small to real large. Well, we're going to have some activities that we're going to be making. And one of those activities is tracing hands. I love this one. I've seen this one in the school, at Hennessy School, many times. Don't you love that? This is a hand. It's an outline of a hand. And let me kind of show you a little bit about how to make this hand. My hand isn't quite working completely better, is it? So what you do is you put your hand on a piece of construction paper, and then you trace it with a pencil. And once you've traced it with a pencil, you've got your hand there. And I hope you can see that. It's a perfect shape of a hand. And some hands are going to be smaller and some hands are going to be bigger just because no flowers are the same size either. Then you cut it out with scissors and you end up with a flower or a hand cut out. And we have straws. And with a straw, I can wrap this around the straw. And I wrap it around. And I make it into a type of a circular one. And then I can staple it together. I hope I can get this. You might need to do that for me. She did it. Yes, it looks great. And then after you've stapled it down, just arrange it up. And it looks like these are a little more bent. You can use a pencil, you can use one of the straws and just curl it up. And it kind of comes out with curly fingers that look like the petals. And then after that's all done, you can always put a leaf, because you want to have leaves on your flower, and just tape a leaf or two on.
It's beautiful.
Cute, isn't it? Yeah. And these happen to be straws that bend. They're flexible straws. You might want to just tilt that flower over and add it right to the collection. You can make them of all colors, all sizes, and it's actually quite a beautiful bouquet. I like that. Another activity that we have is you had it in your book of the skeleton. It looked very much like this one. Mm-hmm. And if they were to have that, it's right on the front too, isn't it? Yes. It is. And all that was made with this are Q-tips and glue and construction paper. And even these ribs right here on the skeleton are the inside of the Q-tips. And the fingers and toes, there's 5 fingers and 5 toes, they're just cut the ends of the Q-tips. I like the bow. Yeah. So I'm going to put this one over here because this one you have to look at a little bit more to really get an idea. So I'm going to set this over here. And we have one last activity here. And I can probably put this one, let me move this over here, just so you can still look at that one. Because that one I really like. It's very intricate. You might want to keep looking at that one. This, though, is a head. And you could make it with felt. And all this is a piece of cardboard. And what we've done is, oops, lost my mic. What we've done is quickly get this back on. Is cover this piece of cardboard with felt. You can go to stores that you might be able to go to a yardage store, and there may be even some stores that you could go find some at the dollar store, maybe a little cheaper, and cover a piece of cardboard and then cut out different kinds of felt. And on this felt, you might want to make a body. You could even make a skeleton like this if you had white felt. You could make a skeleton. This one is made out of a head. So here is the face. Put this right in the center. Now this art activity, you're going to need to have your parents help, definitely. I'm going to put the hair right over that face. Boy, that actually looks like it. And then we've got eyes. Now the eyes can come apart or put together because felt happens to stick. I sure hope I can do this right. And we've got this eye. I might even have to move the eye over a little bit. Whoops. This could be hours of fun. Boy, I can remember when I was growing up, I loved these things. Neat eyebrows. In fact, I'm going to put this eyebrow kind of looking like she's surprised. Woo! Now she looks like she's surprised. A nose. Lips. And if you wanted to, you could make a whole body out of that. Isn't that the cutest thing? Almost kind of looks like me in a way. I'm looking a little bit at that. So boys and girls, really look at this and the wonderful activities that we have. We have the skeleton, the felt lined, and the flowers. In fact, there's a song that I just thought of with body parts, and it's you put your left foot in and your left foot out, and I don't know if very many of you at home know that, and it goes, you put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Thank you for doing that. I'm holding on to this. And you can do it with your hands. In fact, why don't we do it one more with our hands? You put, we'll say both hands in, okay? You put both hands in, you take both hands out, you put both hands in, and you shake them all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. And we might be able to do another one like that afterwards. But boys and girls, I sure hope you've enjoyed all of the crafts, and thank you so much for coming to our show, for all the wonderful children in Nevada County. Please, if you want to find more activities, and look into the community calendar and NCTV. Also, I would really like it if you could send us some letters. We'd love to have letters sent to George and Willy's Word telling us what you liked, what crafts. Maybe you've made a craft at home and you're so proud of it and you'd like to share it with us. Please write us a letter or take a picture and show us your craft. I will definitely put it on our TV program and show to the other boys and girls. If you have letters, please send them to 235 South Auburn Street, Grass Valley, 95945. And we're going to be finishing up by singing. I think we should sing a little bit more. But don't forget to listen to lots of stories. Do your job and have fun playing. Come here, Willy. Come on up here. You ready? What other one should we do? I need you to stand up and help me here.
Yeah, I didn't know about the singing part.
You put your elbow in, you take your elbow out, you put your elbow in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your head in, you put your head out, you put your head in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Willy's happy. What's another one for the children to join us at home?
Well, we made up a song for the little guys, and we all know the tune, but it goes, now I'm going to have to do this very quickly. It goes, it's so you learn your 5 senses. Oh, yeah. And it's see, hear, what, wait, let me think. See, hear, smell, taste and touch, taste and touch. See, hear, smell, taste and touch, taste and touch. These are my 5 senses that I love so much. See, hear, smell, taste and touch, taste and touch.
Oh, I love it. Can we do it again?
Sure.
All right. I may make a mistake.
So these are your 5 senses.
We'll sing as we go out. Ready? Bye-bye, boys and girls.
Bye. Bye. See, hear, smell, taste and touch, taste and touch. See, hear, smell, taste and touch, taste and touch. These are my 5 senses that I love so much. See, hear, smell, taste and touch, taste and touch.
Oh, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Very fun. Bye-bye.